Welcome. Welcome to day two, those of you who are joining. Just wait for my tech to tell me that I'm good to go. Awesome. All right, we are live. Welcome. Welcome to day two of the Break Free 5-day workshop series for health and wellness practitioners and coaches. I'm a little bit late this morning. I am so sorry. I'm a rooster in Chinese astrology, and we hate being late, particularly in the morning. If you think of a rooster, we like to be on time. But I had some tech issues. I had to wait for my Wi-Fi to warm up because we turned it off overnight, EMFs and all that. Hi, Isabel. Awesome. Hi, Alison. Can you guys make sure that you, let me know that you can hear me. I'm assuming you can. Just say yes, I can hear you, and I'll get started. Hi, Susie. How is everyone this morning? I'm going to be really careful with this top. It's a bit gapey, so hopefully I'm all decent. How is everyone this morning? Who was here live yesterday, or who watched the replay for day one? What did you think? Let me know. Let me know what you think about a new way of working. And if you had trouble with the workbook or any, amazing aha moments or insights from the training, let me know that too in the comments. I'm just going to hang for a little bit, let a few more people jump on. We had about 40 live yesterday, which was so amazing. I've got to keep track of my comments. Hi, Carly. Alison, thank you loud and clear. Annie, awesome. Hello, welcome. Susie. Isabel can hear me. That is beautiful. Hi, Elisa. Cute little emoji. One of my favorite emojis at the moment is the girl that's like this. No deal. Jackie, hello. Cool. Danielle, good morning. Beautiful. Awesome. So guys, tell me that there's a bit of a delay in the comments. It takes a little while to come through, but let me know, what did you love most about yesterday? What are you, hey Janet, what are you really excited about? How did you find the workbook? Anything you're stuck with as far as a new way of working? Annie says, I feel like it'll be hard work setting it up, but then we'll bring freedom once it's up and running. Yeah, look, I won't lie. It is hard work, especially as for those in my mastermind know the first few months you're creating content, and then we're doing the marketing stuff, and you're signing clients on often while you're still creating content for those first kind of people through. So you once. So it's a lot of work, it's intense, but the word hard, Annie, for me last year, because I went through that when I launched a couple of my programs last year all at once, because that's what we do when we're high achievers, isn't it? I made a decision and I said to myself, what if it's easy and what if it's fun? So instead of it being hard, I decided to really enjoy the process and love it. And it really, it sounds a bit cheesy, but honestly, it made a really big difference. I chose not to feel that it would be hard. It was certainly intense, but I really enjoyed the process, and it was easy and it was fun. So it's a good mindset to go with. Sharon, hello, and Mariana, good morning. Awesome. Beautiful. All right, so we might get started. There's a few of you on here live now, and I know I was late. So today is day two. So has everyone got their day two workbook? This one here, and it's called, the topic of the day is Smart Practitioners Niche. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a niche, or for those zoning in from the US or Canada, a niche. Which makes me just feel like it's an itch that we need to get rid of. But we don't need to get rid of a niche. We want one in our business. And if you're not sure, just think target market is another great word for niche. This is the worst top to wear on the live. I'm just going to tuck it in here because we're all friends, or just make sure that doesn't, because otherwise it's going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive you crazy because I'll be playing with it. Danielle, awesome. Hi, Chris. How are you? Cool. All right. So, niche. Smart practitioners niche, okay? Smart anyone in business niches. We're going to be talking about a really big question and a very important question in your business, no matter what phase of business that you're in. A niche is essentially what we'll be talking about today is who are your people? What's their big problem? Like what keeps them up at night? What are they on Dr. Google searching for? What would they pay money or what would they invest money in a program or a practitioner to help them solve? Okay, that's a really big thing, and we'll do some niche workshopping with anyone who has a bit of a knit itch. Yeah, I know that's what I think, Janet, like knits. Ooh, every time I think of that, it makes me itchy, like lice, head lice. So it's really important when you have your niche, the problem that your ideal client experiences has to be big enough to matter. Okay, it has to be a problem. And I know we're probably positive people and we don't like to sort of focus on the negative and on problems, but when we're thinking about our niche and our program, our signature program, it's got to be solving a problem. So if you already have a niche or you're clear on your ideal client, you know your specialty, you're all over that, please still stay on the live today or still watch the replay. Keep going, because I promise you'll always learn something. There might just be one little gem that I say or a little question that someone else asks that just sparks something in your mind and you're like, oh my goodness, what a breakthrough. So please, the worst thing I think we can do when we are on any type of training is to have that, yeah, but I know that. That little, oh yeah, I've heard this before. I do it, oh yeah, I've heard that before. And you probably have heard this before in some way, shape, or form. I hope you have. However, that closes your mind off to learning something new. So it's really important, if you have heard some things before, just to go, okay, that resonates with what I've heard before, but I'm open to new possibilities and I'm open to potentially learning something new. So again, I've got my extensive notes down here. So if you see me looking down, that is what I'm doing. So I don't want to miss anything. So this finding a niche clarity business is the one thing that every health and wellness practitioner must get clarity on. Out of all the work we do inside my mastermind and the work that I do with my clients in my business, we got to keep going back to it. Sometimes I feel if practitioners sort of feel kind of clear on their niche and then we move on, and look, sometimes that's as far as you're going to get. Sort of clear, it's doing your head in, let's just keep moving through. But inevitably, if we're not really honed in and clear on that niche, at some point in the rest of the process, we're going to have to come back and get that clarity, because it'll trip you up somewhere else. Either when you're creating your signature program, if you're not super clear on who it is you're helping and what the problem is that you're solving with your program, you're going to have to go back and figure that out. Otherwise, your program just kind of is a bit vanilla, right? No one wants vanilla programs. I certainly don't want to help you guys launch a vanilla program, as in, like a mediocre program. The other place it might trip you up in your business if you don't have that clarity around your niche is your marketing, right? When I work with clients, they're hell-bent on getting to that marketing bit. It's the last module in my program for a reason, because you've got to lay the foundations before we get there. So you might see, if you find that your marketing, your content creation, anything you're putting out there to promote your business and services, if it's not really resonating and you're not getting the hits that some of your colleagues might be getting, it's probably because you're not clear on your niche or you're not communicating it clearly in your content. Hi, Diana. Awesome. No, don't worry, honey. I was late too. So of any day to be late, today's the day, because I was about 5 minutes late. I'm glad that you're here. So we're talking about niche today, Diana. We're talking about getting really clear on your ideal client and their big problem. So before I go further, let's talk about what is a niche. So just so that we're all crystal clear, and then we're going to go into some real practical stuff with your workbook. And I also want to give you guys some coaching around some possible niche ideas or current niches that you might already have. So a niche, the way that I understand niche, and the way I teach niche, and the way that I was, or my favorite way that I was taught, I've done a marketing degree, communications, worked in PR agencies and marketing and events agencies, and in-house for brands and things like that in my former years. And I've done, I don't know how many online business marketing and training programs over the last decade, because that's where I wanted to take my practice, and I love that area. in all of those programs I've done, there's really only been 2 where I've loved the way that they talk about niche, because it made so much sense for me and it made a big difference. And so that's what I teach you guys. So a niche is a combination of 3 things, right? Your ideal client, your community of people, the people that you serve, right? Your tribe, if you want to think of it that way, your posse. So your ideal client, their one big problem, okay? Not so much the disease they have or the symptom that they might experience, that's part of it, but the problem in their eyes. You know, so my niche was women with hormonal weight gain. So generally that perimenopausal, 40s, 50s, kind of even 60s, that where hormones had changed and things that weren't working suddenly, things that always used to work for healthy weight maintenance suddenly didn't, and all these hormone symptoms were flaring. But the big problem for them wasn't so much the hormones, wasn't so much the energy or the sleep, as another practitioner's niche may be. But for my clients in my practice, it was the weight. They were like, you know what, if we could just kick this 10, 15 kilos that suddenly over the last few years I've just gained and I've ballooned and I don't know why, if we can solve that, I'm a happy girl. Now, I know as a health practitioner, and you guys as health practitioners or health coaches, you know that if we fix one thing in the body, it's going to have a ripple effect and probably help with their sleep and help with their crazy hormone mood symptoms and all of those things. But when you're thinking about your niche from a business sense, you've got to hone in on the one problem that your specific community of clients has in their own eyes, right? So your ideal client, their one big problem, and your method of solving that problem. So those 3 things together are what make up a really lucrative niche. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. So just in case you're sitting here thinking, why do I need a niche? Like, I'm busy in my practice. I don't need to market. I've got people coming in. It's all fine. Look, you don't have to. You could just keep doing what you're doing if that's working for you. But I'm guessing that those of you, at least on this training, something isn't working in your business. It may be that you're not loving every client that comes in the door, and you're kind of stressed out about all these different types of conditions and clients that you need to help, and you'd really like to hone in and become an expert in one particular area, right? It may be that you want to launch an online program, which I would assume, or even a program in your clinic. It doesn't have to be an online one, and you need a focus for that, okay? Because just a general get healthy program, it's not really going to sell because it's not juicy enough, right? It doesn't have a big enough problem attached to it. So a niche really is the foundation of every successful business. If you look at big business outside of our profession, they generally do one thing really well for a particular type of person. They're very clear, and competitor businesses in the same industry, you can generally see who their target market is. They're very, very clear on who they help, how they help them, and the problem that they solve. So really, when it comes to creating a signature program, which is what this workshop series is all about, you have to have a niche to do that, as I said before. Otherwise, it's just not going to land. You're not going to sell many of the programs. So the thing with having a niche as well that I love, and until you get really clear on what your niche is, you kind of don't realize this, but it brings so much clarity and ease and calm to your business. It is phenomenal. What a niche does as well is it opens up opportunities. So often practitioners get afraid, and we'll talk about some common fears in a moment, but they get afraid that a niche is going to limit them, but it actually has the opposite effect, which is really cool. You have real clarity when you're clear on your niche. Well, what services should you offer and how should you best deliver them? How to price them? What marketing strategies are going to work best for you in your niche? What seminars should you invest in and what ones should you probably pass up on? You don't have to go to all the seminars, right? You just go to the ones that are going to make a difference to you and your work with your niche. What tools should you invest in? When you go onto that really cool, like fluffy toy body organ part website that my mastermind clients and I discovered, you'll know which one to buy. Do you buy the poo emoji because your niche is IBS, or do you buy the little lymph node because you help people clear, people with lymphatic issues? These things are important. You'll know. You'll know what to do. And really, without a niche, you won't stand out as the expert that you are, and clients will pass over you to go to the person that has a clear niche and communicates it really well, and they have a clear signature program to solve the problem that that specific niche has. Okay? You'll be talking, you've probably heard the saying, if you market to everyone, you're marketing to no one. It's like throwing the spaghetti at the wall and nothing's going to stick. It's just not going to land as well. So who has a niche or a niche? Let me know. Let's do a bit of a check-in and see. If you have a niche or an idea, and look, let's use this for free coaching. So even if you're not sure if it's clear enough, or if it even is a niche, type it in. Let me help you guys get clear on this. That's what today is all about. Who has a niche? Oh, the comments are so delayed, aren't they? Who has a niche? Or who has an ideal client or a group of people they're thinking about working with, or a health condition? Let's just start brainstorming them. This is kind of my superpower too. For those who are in my program, you'll know that, I don't know, once I get to know you a little bit and get a feel for you as a person and a practitioner, it's very magical how I can suddenly go, this is your niche, what do you think? And you're like, oh my God. Luann says, yes, has a niche, or maybe yes, it makes sense, I'm not sure. Mariana, who's in my mastermind, she just joined last week, I'm so excited. Perimenopausal women struggling with weight gain. Yeah, cool, that's a great niche, awesome. And what we'll do, Mariana, in the next few months is we're going to really hone in on that and get even clearer and pull out some really poignant words for those women. But yes, that is a great niche, very lucrative too, because they're often, there's a lot of them. They're always more joining the ranks, and they're very open to natural therapies and nutrition and taking care of themselves generally, and enough of them are anyway. Chris says, I like to work with menopausal women, but I'm equally very interested in mental health. Yeah, cool. So like menopausal women and mental health, they're not niches, but we could get some clarity around that. So it might be mental health, that might be, like ex-servicemen struggling with PTSD. That would be more of a niche. Or young mothers struggling with postnatal depression or postnatal anxiety, or just that overwhelm of suddenly that big life change. That would be more of a niche. So that's great. Rachel, mum would be women's hormone health. Yeah, not a niche. An area of focus, I guess, but we want to zone in a little bit more, Rachel. So because women's hormone health, like what women, like what's the problem for them with the hormones, and which hormones and what life phase are they in? So really start to drill down, and the workbook's really going to help you do that today as well. Luann says, I work with women with mast cell activation syndrome and histamine intolerance. Yeah, cool. And again, Luann, for you in the workbook, really honing in on, well, why is that a problem for them? Like we might assume, oh, well, of course it's a problem, like who would want histamine intolerance? But what about it? Like, because we want to be pulling out words that are really going to attract them when we're doing, when we're writing marketing content, and sales pages and webinars and things to promote our program. But yeah, that's cool. Jackie, weight loss for women in menopause and men insulin resistance aging well. Yeah, cool. Again, like we'd probably get hone in a little bit, Jackie, but definitely, I love anyone that works with men. Like, my goodness, that is like the most lucrative niche waiting to happen, because, women are very overrepresented when it comes to nutrition and diet changes and natural health and functional medicine and functional nutrition, right? Like most of all of our clients would be women. Even GPs, most of them probably women. It's not until the guys are really, really ill that they finally drag themselves, and really focusing on some men's health issues would be great. But yeah, definitely could do some refining there, Jackie. That's cool. Carly, I've been working a lot with skin, but also with women with stress and hormone problems. Not sure if either of these are my niche. Yeah, well, we could do the work, like go through the workbook. It's not as in depth as the work I do with my mastermind clients, and obviously we can spend weeks and weeks brainstorming on our regular weekly lives and going, coaching, going back and forth. It can take some time, right? But it's a creative process. Like finding your niche and creating a signature program is incredibly creative. So sometimes we've just got to allow ourselves to sit with it, and work on it and let it kind of bubble out of us. But Carly, again, the workbook's really going to help you zero in on which of those and go a bit deeper too. What about skin? Eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, acne, hormonal acne, boys with acne? Let's hone in. Isabel, don't have a niche, can't pick one. All right, yes, you can. Just change that. I don't have a niche yet. I'm working on getting clearer and clearer as to what my ideal niche would be. Okay, let's change the way that you're talking to yourself there, Isabel. You'll get there. At least you're here and you're giving it a crack. It can be hard. Sometimes niches just are obvious for people, and other times it just takes a little bit of time. Mariana, looking forward to working with you. Cool. Annie, I'm thinking shift workers, as I was one. I like that niche. But I can't narrow down their one big problem. I'm thinking sleep, but maybe stress and mental health. Yeah. One of my past clients, Amanda, is a registered nurse as well as a naturopath. And so she was creating a program to help nurses recover from or avoid burnout. So they're obviously shift workers, most of them, and that was part of the problem that they experienced. But yeah, shift workers, sometimes when you have a niche, if the ideal client is niche enough in and of itself, then the one big problem, it's still important, but it can kind of be a bit more like a set of problems, if that makes sense. And this is where the art of choosing a niche comes in, not so much the science part. So Annie, with shift workers, I mean, you were one, so you understand their problems and the toll that takes on the body. Sleep could be part of it, but it could just be, helping shift workers manage their energy and stay healthy. Weight is another big one with stress workers, and yeah, stress and mental health. That's a cool one. It'd be interesting to see how you go with the workbook, but yeah, that one might take a bit of time to narrow in on, but you're on the right track. Stick with the shift workers. I think that's really cool, and then just see which problem is kind of the biggest for them, knowing that you'll help them with everything as well once they work with you. Danielle, I tend to speak a lot about fatigue and sleep, but defining it and getting super clear on it still needs work. It seems it's been doing my head in. Yeah, okay, fatigue and sleep. So the problem is they're exhausted. What's the problem with sleep? Can't fall asleep, poor sleep, insomnia. And who is it? Who's the ideal client experiencing this, and what do they want to feel instead? So again, the workbook's going to help you through the process. Diana, women 30 to 50 years of age have never been able to get through their long-term weight issue and are willing to finally address it. Love it. Yeah, cool. So women who've had long-standing problems with their weight, they're over it, they're frustrated, and then really getting clear on how they want to feel instead, and painting that picture would be the good next step for you, Diana. Alison, men struggling with increased weight, struggling with work and family as they are FIFO shift workers. Love it. That's cool. That's a bit different to your niche when we did the mastermind together, Alison, but I know we were talking about male clients even in that, and I know you've got that metabolic balance training under your belt now too. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I like that niche for you. Sharon, can't get clear on my niche and see a wide variety of clients, but I'm passionate about showing others there is a different way in life and they don't have to live with the current symptoms, emotions, moods. Yeah, that passion is great, and showing others there's a different way. That's your mission, right? We now just need to attach that to a particular niche. So I would be thinking when you go through your workbook, Sharon, about who are the people you love working with. Is it women? Is it men? Is it kids? Is it men and women 40 plus? Is it retirees? We don't need to hone in so much on the demographic, the boring age bits, but it's more thinking of them as a community of people that kind of identify as a particular type, and just and really hone in on the problem too. Like you say, holding them back from what? What is it stopping them from being, doing, or having in their life? That it's a big enough issue that it's like that thorn in the side that constantly is jabbing them and they need to change. Because just wanting to improve my health, you know what, it's a bit flaky. I may not give you $2,000 to help with that. Probably do it myself. It's got to be a problem where they know that they've tried themselves, they've DIY'd for a little while, now they need an expert. Alison, a lot being prompted with at the moment PTSD. Yeah, cool. EMDR therapy with a psychologist or another sort of counselor trained in that, huge with PTSD. Like if you ever wanted referral partners, incredible therapy, very, very cool. Just as a random aside, Alison. Susie, over 40s fatigued women struggling to shift weight. Yeah, that's a niche. I think, we'd hone in on and give it a bit of personality and life. But yeah, over 40, exhausted, struggling to shift weight. Yeah, we just want to, sex it up a bit, make it a bit more juicy. But yeah, definitely on the right track there. And the workbook will help you get clearer. All right, cool. If anyone else has any that you want to write in, please do, and I will check back through the comments. But we might just move through some fears around niching, just so that I'm covering that, because it is. I get a lot of resistance sometimes from clients around choosing a niche. It's kind of one of those hot topics in our profession, I think. So, common fears about niching. Who has any fears? Type in the comments and let me know. What are you worried about? If you haven't chosen a niche, or you've tried and you're just not sure, what's holding you back? What's your concern? While I'm waiting for those comments to be typed in, I'm going to go through some of the most common ones that I see. Okay? And they are, I don't want to leave anyone behind. I want to help all the people. I can't turn anyone away. Oh my goodness. How can I work with a particular type of person and then someone else needs my help and I have to say no? That's a common one. Let me know, has anyone got that one? Number one, I don't want to leave anyone behind. Another really common fear around niching, what if I lose clients or I miss opportunities? It's that fear of missing out. If I only work with a particular type of client and a particular type of problem, I'm going to miss out. Who turns away business? That's crazy. Hayley, you're mad. What are you telling me to do? Okay? That one's really common when you're not making enough money in your business. Because as soon as you have a niche and you launch a signature program and you're making 5 to 10K a month consistently, all that fear goes away, right? It's not a problem anymore for you to turn people away because you are more than adequately supported by the business that you have. And then it moves from 10 to 15 to 20 and more opportunities open up because you're so clear on your niche. Your business has a solid foundation. I'm just noticing some comments coming in, so let's have a look over here. Keep them coming, guys. Janet, fears. I could spend years thinking about those magic words. It's paralyzing. You know what? It's funny, isn't it? The simplest words and phrases are the strongest. So yeah, it doesn't have to be that complex. Once you're clear on your niche, it's like, you're like, why was that so hard? Why did I think that was so hard? You just probably haven't been shown or coached or shown the process and had somebody with you every step of the way for as long as it takes to get clear on that. I don't feel that finding your niche is work you can necessarily do on your own. It's hard to figure it out. You need sounding boards. You need somebody with experience to say, get clearer? Or what about that? Or can we hone in more here, or tweak that, or turn that up, or tone that down? And also to tell you, you're going to struggle with that niche. It's moving uphill in the marketplace. And that means basically people aren't ready to realize that your services can fix this problem. Like, you don't want to pick something that's going to be, you're going to have to convince people and educate them on the problem that they have to begin with. You want to make it a really easy to understand formula. Annie says picking the right one. Well, Annie, what if whatever one you chose was the perfect niche for you? What if there's more than one right one for you? What if you could just pick one and run with it for a bit, and if you wanted to pivot and change, you could? That's a cool question to ask yourself. Isabel, that I'm going to choose the wrong one. So same there, Isabel. Like, let's just take away, you're not going to fail at this. You're not going to choose the wrong one. You're just going to pick one, all right, and run with it. And niches are meant to be tweaked. Like, I'm still honing my niche for my business and marketing coaching practice. I'm still working out nuances in my niche. And then when you launch different services, you can almost niche within your niche, but I won't go there. You guys will probably all leave. Let's pick one first. Rachel, I'm noticing feeling like I am closing off other possible clients. Yeah. And again, sometimes that's a fear about us not, turning business away, right? And sometimes it's a fear about the other person that we're turning away. We want to help everyone. Karen, making the wrong decision. Yeah, again, Karen, what if there was no wrong decision? What if you just trusted that every decision you made was the perfect decision for that moment and just run with it? Chris says, where have you gone? Where have you gone, Chris? Oh, there it is. That I present myself as an expert, but I don't feel like I know enough. Oh, that imposter syndrome. All right, shake that off, okay? You're always going to feel, I felt like Alexis from Schitt's Creek then. She does all this sort of stuff. I love her. Schitt's Creek on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, like, what have you been doing with your life? You need to watch that series. Very funny. However, back to niche. Yeah, like imposter syndrome, you're always going to feel like that. But here's the thing about choosing a niche is you're going to specialize and you're going to learn more and more and more. And when you have a clear niche, you do start to step into that expert a lot quicker than if you're just seeing absolutely everybody coming in. And sure, you're not going to be the expert in everything about your niche when you first start working with them, but you know enough to help them and you're going to learn more, and it's okay. All right. All right. Mariana, I'm with Chris. Yeah, cool. Carly, thinking of the way my business is currently structured, I have the clinic side, the dispensary side, and I also do spiritual work and Reiki healing. What's come up with finding a niche is I already have a lot of area to cover when thinking of marketing. Yeah, all of those things, they're your tools and your modality. They're like the arrows in your, what do they call it? The quivers in your, your arrow holder. Oh my gosh, what do they call that? Your backpack with the arrows in it and you're an archer. All of those, the clinic, the dispensary, the Reiki, they're your modalities. They're your tools of the trade. They're the arrows that are in your backpack. All right. And you just pick whatever one you need to help that client then and there. It's not your niche. And you can use all of those tools to help support your niche. So having a niche, I think what that will actually be, Carly, is it's going to be the thing that pulls everything together. Now, you might not have the same niche for your dispensary as you would for your signature program. So just if you're here to create a signature program, if that's what you want to do in your business, let's just pick a niche for that service, right? For the signature program. Otherwise, yeah, and eventually what will happen is you'll find it'll all tie in nicely together. Diana, what's the definition of enough and who defines that you were born enough? Totally. Chris says, Carly, I get what you say. I don't know how to meld the clinical side with the spiritual side. Oh, you just add that stuff into your clinical practice. Like, it's fine. I Coach and Prosper, the course and program that I now share with other practitioners, it's available on my website. That basically is my spirituality, coaching, life coaching, health coaching side that I used to tie in with my clinical weight loss business, because people need that stuff. They need the emotional and spiritual sort of transformation as well. So you package it up. Like, that's what we're here for. We're creating a signature program. We're packaging up all of our expertise, okay? Clinical, spiritual work, energy healing, psychology. If you're a PT, like, package it all up. Everything that you know, you bundle it all in to create an amazing program that will serve your client to the highest level. When I say expertise, I don't just mean, oh, you have to be clinical you now, or now you have to be spirit. No, we are holistic. We're holistic practitioners. We get to work with people on all realms. Carly and Chris, I feel very much the same with working with both clinical. Well, Sharon, what I said to those guys, I think you're probably creating a barrier or a boundary there that maybe could just be, dissolved a little bit. Cool. All right. So let me keep going through these fears a little bit. Another common fear around niching, and maybe with those of you that have a clinical practice and you might be feeling, well, what do I do if I launch a program? What do I do with my current clients? Is, what do I do with the clients I already have? Oh no, I can't niche because I've already got these people relying on me. Well, you get to choose. You get to launch a signature program and focus on getting people into your program and serving your particular niche. And then you can keep running your clinic on the side, not on the side, but at the same time, if you like. Particularly if you work with me and you learn the hybrid model, it's very leverageable of your time and scalable, and it's not going to, you probably have to clear some space in your schedule to do that, but you can still have your clinic running, and a lot of my clients do, and I did for quite a while too. However, if you truly feel aligned with your niche and it becomes the mission and the purpose of your career and your life, you can slowly, if you choose, and if you feel that you love working with clients in your niche and program, you can then offer those clients who already have a place in your program, or you can start to refer them on so they will be taken care of. Okay, you're not going to leave anyone behind, and I don't recommend you do that. You do the due diligence and best practice, and if you chose, you would then refer them out to people who love working with that type of client. Another fear is, oh, but everyone can benefit from my services. Of course they can, but we're not going to serve everyone because we're not going to go down the road of burnout. And we're talking about a signature program, and for that you need a niche. Any other fears before I move in? Let me know. Keep typing, so I will check back through the comments. So, opposite of fears are truths. So let me tell you some niche truths. Now, I know these to be 100% true because they are true for me, and they are true for the clients I work with. They're true for my business besties in all different industries and professions who are doing really, really well in their business. So listen up. And oh my goodness, the workbook. Let me just check if you need to be writing these down. No, I don't think I did that in this section. No, it's more practical. Okay, cool. So niche truths. 1, the opportunities that you gain having a clear, lucrative niche will astound you. I promise. If you haven't experienced that yet, you will. Niche truth 2, when you go deep into your niche, ideas flow and inspiration is abundant. And niche truth 3, you won't feel like you're leaving people behind. They will be okay. So when I coach my clients on niche, they do have an added advantage of they've hired me, they've got my superpowers. So that really does help. Because niche work, as I said before, is a really creative process. And so you really need to, and this is for you guys who are worried about getting it wrong. Yeah, Carly, Chris, Sharon, whoever else said, sorry, they're worried about getting it wrong. It's a creative process. And so it's really important that you enjoy it rather than focusing on getting it right. Okay? You get it.